We have Cassie here, the founder and content creator behind Simply Her Wellness. And she's one of Vancouver's top wellness influencers. If you go through her work, she's building a very powerful community that's centered on self care, self improvement, and wellness for women. And while she's creating these spaces to uplift the women voices, she's also very curious about the LGBTQ plus community and BIPOC owned brands. As a proud Filipino Canadian, Cassie is deeply passionate about representation, community, and just showing up authentically, both for yourself and for other people around you. If you've been craving more intention and support in your journey, this is a good conversation to dive into your wellness journey. So let's get into it. Cassie, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you feeling?
Yes, of course. I'm so excited to be here. I'm feeling good. So, yeah.
All right. Cassie, I like to just get into the nitty gritty. So, on the outside, Simply Wellness looks like a beautiful wellness growing community. But I don't necessarily think communities start as brands, they start as a moment. So, what was that moment for you?
For me, I realized the lack of community that is around actually. I was actually Simply Her Wellness started as a creative outlet. And so I was looking for things to look forward to. I wanted to feel good, but I wanted to be around community. But when I was seeking community, I kind of noticed some gaps. For me, that was I was the only person of color in the room or that event,
Mm,
that environment and leadership. Events were quite far, so I had to pay for a ticket, pay for parking. And so I wanted a community that was affordable, that was accessible, that was diverse. And so my moment was when I think I kind of created that. So instead of being in spaces that yes, I'm able to help people, but I wanted to create spaces that are accessible. And that was my form of community was creating it.
what was happening in your life that made you realize, well, I'm gonna go into these particular spaces, and women need these types of spaces? Were you working on yourself? Were you trying to meet new people? Like, what was happening?
I was definitely going through it. I don't know if I was crashing out, but yeah, I was just going through some things alone. I was on my healing journey. And as much as I was trying to enjoy my own company and learn more about
Mm.
myself, I also wanted to heal in community. And I wanted to do that around the right people. I also wanted to make friends. I just wanted to have things to look forward to. For me, I have to schedule my joy. If it doesn't happen, it's not on my calendar, it's not going to happen. So,
So clock it. And as you said, like, what part of healing when did you realize healing can happen in community? Because I think a lot of us have this perception that when we go through a healing journey, you have to isolate, you have to get away from people and, do your own thing. When did it hit for you that you wanted to do it in a communal space?
I love that question. I think that's also kind of deeply rooted in my culture, my Filipino background. For me, it hit the most this year when I attended Lapu Lapu and
Mm,
all the aftermath after that. I was craving connection. I was craving community. I didn't want to be alone. That type of grief and loss hit very differently for me. And
right.
never went through that before. And I know other people can say the same thing. And so I thought that I needed time to grieve, but I was like, I actually want to grieve with my people, my community, and all the resources and things out there. Like I needed to be in it. So yeah, I think that that was a really big moment for me.
But was your brand already in play at this time during the Lapu Lapu
Yeah, I
tragedy?
started before Lapu Lapu, and so
Mm,
just a lot of, self-care moments and things like that. I think before Lapu Lapu, my own healing journey, sense of, trying to, ed the old me and just trying to be a better version of myself. Yeah, letting go of, healthy patterns and just trying to be a better me.
right. So would you say this came from a place of inspiration or pain or a mix of both?
Definitely a mix of both.
Mm,
Yeah, I was seeking community because it just wasn't really around me at the time, and I was inspired by other creatives and other people, but also, my own journey, what I was feeling, and that I know other women feel that way too.
That's really beautiful. I'm glad you found a perfect balance to kind of kickstart that journey from a communal space. And also just to touch base on the Lapu Lapu, how has the community come together to heal together in your own perspective as a part of that community?
Amazing. As you might know, the Filipino culture is very collective, and so,
Hmm.
um,
I
it's
love that. I
right?
love
Like,
that.
it's
I love
everything
that.
and need that. It's so easy and it means a lot to gather together. I think everything is wholeness and togetherness in many
Hmm.
cultures, and that being one of them, and so it just felt like family, it just felt like home, and that was everything to me.
Honestly, even from an outsider's perspective, I have a lot of Filipino friends and just acquaintances. And when that happened, I could literally feel the pain myself too, because this is a festival that is curated to celebrate the culture, celebrate the hardworking individuals who moved to Canada to have a better life. And something tragic as that is just not good for the community. So I was really touched with how the community came together. Not only Filipinos, to be honest. Like
No,
I think
everyone.
it was a public outcry for safety in the communities.
Thing I expected, because growing up in the Filipino community, for those who don't know, I actually was, like, always, like, singing and dancing and performing at those, so it definitely hit
Mm,
a tough spot, so I knew a lot of the people who were there organizing it. That was my childhood, and that was it was always a safe
mm.
place. So attending that and that happening was really hard, for sure.
Right. And when you say you used to sing and dance, like is this like a part of your hobby? Is this something that you're just naturally gifted or somebody put you on? How did you get into singing and
I got
dancing?
the Filipino genes, let's just say that. It's a big part of the culture. Yeah, I used to do competitions and, like, what fundraisers and concerts and things like that. Yeah, the Filipino community was always very much active and involved, and music is a big part.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love the way y'all get down. You got rhythm, you got a little swag. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And before Simply Her Wellness, who's Cassie behind the scenes? Let's take you back before you became the brand. Who's Cassie before that? What does she represent?
Damn. Cassie before, well, she still is. I would say she was just a very much an anxious girl. I think she wanted to keep a lot of things to herself. I think she
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a private girl, and then I still have those moments now, but
Mm.
I learned that visibility creates opportunities. And so, yeah, you gotta be outside. And you just never
Very
know.
much outside.
Like, you never know where that connection or conversation takes you, and that one person can lead you closer to where you're meant to be. So I think Simply Her Wellness made me really get outside there and connect with people, do the things that I gotta do. And it's led me to so much more peace and happiness. But old Cassie, she was trying to figure it out. She's always anxious, moving on to the next thing. I could never just acknowledge and applaud myself for the things that I did accomplish in that time, I guess. It was like, "Okay, on to the next." Like, I'm good. But now I think I have so much more gratitude. I can actually sit down, take a breath, and acknowledge what I've done. I think I have way more self-love and self-compassion now.
When you say you were somebody who was anxious and had a little bit of mental health challenges,
Mhm.
was this as a result of like upbringing or was this as a result of just societal pressures? What are some of the factors that were contributing to that?
I think it was everything, but a lot being on me and my own expectation on
Mm,
myself. Probably some cultural and childhood things in there
mhm.
too, but, like, yeah, it was always just these hard expectations and goals that I had for myself.
So when you look at how you've dealt with that, this is some of the early struggles of Cassie, and I'm glad that you're being vulnerable and open about it. How does present day Cassie now help others get through their moments? When you come across people who are going through anxiety and mental health challenges, how are you holding space for these people as a leader in the wellness space?
I think since then, I've learned so much. Now I know how to better manage any anxiety and stress I feel, and especially with that community, but also being a beginner. For example, when I was documenting my wellness journey, a lot of people come to my events. It's also their first time experiences. They're also coming
Mm.
alone. They also don't have friends. They don't know what they're doing. So I think when I started sharing that, I think they started coming and learning with me and growing with me. I just openly share my uncomfortableness around growth because, okay, well, I also don't want being bored, stagnant, stuck somewhere, unsatisfied,
Mm.
unhealthy. I want to have a better mindset. I want to wake up happier, healthier, grateful.
It's beautiful how when you become authentic to yourself and when you honor your self needs, it's funny how that community of people who align with that version of you just start trickling into your life from nowhere. It's literally like one of those superpowers when once you clock it, you start thinking like, why was I not on this tip earlier? What was I doing all that performance for?
Yes.
I could really just be me. So what are some of the internal lessons that you've gathered in terms of data as you've evolved to be comfortable with yourself and your own skin?
I think a lot of self compassion for myself. If you think you're self aware, but you only focus on the things that you have to improve on, you're not self aware. You're just mean to yourself. That's what it
Ooh.
was. I was only focusing on things that I needed to work on. I wanted to improve. And I'm like, okay, but what about all these other things that you've done and that are so amazing and good about you? You have so much to offer. It's always the people outside and around you that call you out and they're like, "Hey, like you do this and you're that person. There's so much
Mm,
about you that you can't bring up or you don't remember. Like don't forget that you're just that girl. You're doing all of this." And
mm,
so, yeah, I think it's being kinder to myself. It's being more patient and compassionate with myself. And I do take those moments now to be like, "Okay, like let's actually reflect and see what we did." And like, yes, you're always
mm.
focused on what you want to do, what you need to do, how you want to be better, but it's like also look at the person who you are and what you're doing right now too, and that you're doing a lot of good things.
I think you just described groundedness, the difference between anxiety and being present. Like
Mhm.
when you're so ultra focused on the future, you're consistently putting your body in a state of anxiety because you don't have control over that. But when you come back and showcase that gratitude to yourself, then that's where you're grounding yourself to be present. And that's the difference between the state of being present and anxiety is that threshold between what I'm doing right now and what I want to do tomorrow.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you were talking about how when you're doing personal development and self development, you're always critiquing yourself on what you need to do and what you got to add. I argue that you also
Okay.
have to remove certain things. I
Yeah.
think we're built to think the only way you grow is because growth is like upward trajectory.
Mhm.
But sometimes to grow, you got to do addition by subtraction. You have to
Yes.
take away certain things. You have to release certain habits. And a lot of the times you realize if I release control, if I release anxiety, then the growth takes place. So I think there's a part where you have to release a
Yeah.
lot of things. What are some of the values that you can see in your brand that mirror the upbringing that you had without you forcing them?
Empathy is one of them, really trying to understand how other people feel and what they need. And because going back to my roots, we're always wanting to help other people. So I
Mm,
think it kind of goes back to that. I,
okay. Empathy. So empathy, tick. Did you have any other one in mind?
I think it's patience. I think I'm always in a rush, like, when's this gonna happen? And one of the things I had to realize is like you need to let go of like, the how and the when it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I don't wanna say you gotta be delusional enough, but you just need to have faith and that everything's gonna come together. It's all gonna make sense. There's this thing that's like some people thinks it takes time. It actually takes alignment. That's kind of what I believe in.
Okay, okay. Double click on that. That's really good.
Okay.
Double click on that.
Okay. Yes, like, yes, good things do take time, but going back to alignment, some of the things that you were talking about earlier too, of like, it also takes sacrifice, it takes patience, it takes removing yourself from situations or things, letting go. You need to make space, including letting go of things, for new things to come into your life. You're typically going to be shedding or completely changing before this transformation happens. I think it takes a lot of self growth, discovery, really understanding who you are and your values to have all of that happen, to have that transformation that people want.
I love that a lot. When you say alignment, how do you think people get to be aligned? What are some of the ways that you feel people get into a zone where they finally feel alignment in their purpose or career, whatever it is that they're trying to put their mind into?
I think it's when they have more peace and clarity in who they are and what they're doing.
Clarity.
Even if
Clarity.
they're not there yet, again, being around people or opportunities that get you there. So maybe, and
Mm,
especially like get yourself in a different environment. Like that's even like the one step, even if it makes you uncomfortable, but that will bring you closer to like, okay, like even if you don't have all your is figured out. Maybe you don't know exactly what journey the next step or your next choice is. Being around certain people that spark that interest, that motivation, that inspiration, that can help you. Even just being around that good energy, even if
mm.
you don't believe in yourself, there's going to be someone else that believes in you.
Has that been a big part of your alignment journey?
Yes. I
Mhm.
I'm always seeking rooms. When I say I'm outside, I'm always seeking rooms where I don't want to be the smartest one in the room. I want to be around the more experienced people, the founders, the entrepreneurs, the business people, the non gatekeepers, because I want to be in that alignment. That type of energy is going to bring me
Mm.
to where I want to be, or like they can share that knowledge with me. And eventually, I want to be that person. I want to be that energy for someone else.
And again, not to cut you short, but um, there's this thing that is cliche. You're the average of the five people you expose yourself to. But at the same time, your imagination and your belief is only valid to the level of exposure that you have. So
Hmm.
if you've never seen $1 million in your bank account, you probably don't think it's
Yeah,
possible. Shows you when somebody pulls out their phone and they show you $1 million, then you're like, holy shit! Like you actually got a meal. Okay, maybe I can see that on my bank. Like psychologically, it
exactly.
opens up something in your brain, and that's why
Mhm.
with the environment piece, that's why traveling also is such a key part. Like
Yes.
when you
Yeah.
travel,
Yeah.
you get to experience spaces, cultures, people in a different way than you're used to your local things. So I think I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like that environment piece,
Yeah, I
gotta
talked about this in one of my videos that 95% of your success comes around the people around you. And so to be really honest, like to dig into that deeper, yeah, I do believe that like your friends and even your partner reflect who you are. And so like, are you proud of that? Like ask yourself that. And if not, you need to do an audit.
people see the final piece in terms of like the event that you've curated. What don't they see about building a women-centered wellness community?
That's a good question. I think people don't see or fully understand, especially those who aren't women, like the struggle that kind of woman goes through. Women's health and hormones and biology is just different. And so the way that we cope and go through things, and that's kind of things I want to talk about at a future event, is different comparing it to like a female or a male's journey, including
Mhm.
like our hormones and stuff like that. There's just certain things that we struggle with even more so that when it comes to any mental health or health concerns, it's such a
Mm.
different journey. And so when it
Right.
comes to behind the scenes, whether that's my own mental health stuff or health things, like health is everything. Health is truly wealth. And so there's been moments that,
Mhm.
God, this is going to stop me ish from everything that I'm doing, kind of. I've
Mm.
needed support and community along the way to help me bring everything together. I needed that patience because there's been so many when you're dealing with so many partners, there can
Mm.
just so much also delays and things like that that like you may or may not expect. Yeah. So every event I always learn from, every event I hope always gets better. I never care about quantity or making it bigger, but I always care about quality and like the
Right.
experience of it. It's not just an event or an activity, but that experience, that community, the type of energy that I bring, the type of energy that I attract to my events.
Right. Yeah. I mean, physiologically, we're two different species, and I can't really relate. I can empathize from the supporter standpoint, but like from a experience standpoint, I can't really imagine what, women have to go through in terms of like biological hormonal changes, even every month. So that can be a very difficult challenge because I don't get to experience that to a certain extent. But
I
that
think
doesn't necessarily mean it's not there. It's there and it has to be acknowledged.
I
So,
think it was such a big thing because the stories that I get, like in my DMs or in person, or if people can't attend, it's because they have these different health journeys or things that they're struggling with that you can't even tell or you almost don't even know about. And I'm like, wow, like you're
mm,
so strong, or like, damn, like we need people tell me like we need more spaces like this. Like I'm so glad you made this and I can like be open and be free. So yeah.
right. And in terms of holding space, What has holding space for other women taught you about leadership?
I think it reminds me of how I want women to feel, and that's very important that they want to be seen and heard. And there are so many unspoken things out there. And so those are the types of feelings and things that I want to bring into my events. And so when it comes to leadership or making decisions or creating events or working with people, there's always intention, meaning, purpose behind it, a story behind it. For example, like whether that be like this person is struggling. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they don't drive. Maybe it's a mom who they're a new mom. They just want to get out of the house. They're dealing with
Mm,
all these various challenges. Okay, like I'm doing a free wellness walk. Let's move our body. Let's chat about it. There's no need to spend money always on a ticket. Or, hey, like you never tried this before. You're having a rough time. Like, I think for me, I really create value in my experiences, again, based on women's stories, women's feelings, what they've shared with me. And again, also my own journey. But I think that's a huge part in the decisions that I make for creating my events.
when you look back at your first event, what are some of the successes and challenges that you faced on that first event?
Yeah. First event, I had a very big vision that I kind of needed to narrow down was one of them.
Yeah.
Second was perfection. Like I wanted everything to be perfect and I wasn't also prepared for any issues or challenges that might come up. I've
Mm.
changed so much since then. I think now I've completely let go of perfection. And I think as long as
Shout
my
out to growth. Shout out to growth.
intention and purpose, everything is there, like, it'll all make sense and align. People can feel your energy, and so I don't wanna be nervous or anxious. I wanna be able to connect, and I hope whether that's my content or my events resonate with people, and I think I wanted to be way more present at my events. The first event, I tried to be a part of it and I just wasn't fully there. I could feel it, people could see it. And so my next events, I was like, no, like, let me delegate some of the stuff so that I can be present and whole. And I try to have conversations with every single one of my participants, guests that comes, but also my partners. And people, if there might be a booth or table or speakers, like I want to connect with them too and on a deeper level and connect them to other people. I'm always that person of like, oh, like you have a business, you have an idea, like let me connect you to this person. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
always about like there's always space for everyone at the table. So I'm like, "Yeah, come here."
Everybody can eat. Everybody can eat.
That's what
Like
it is.
once I think that's beautiful because once you start operating with an abundance mindset,
Yes.
there comes a point where life mirrors that for you. So you automatically start to see abundance in your personal space as well. Just because you're also seeing other people through the lens of abundance.
Yeah.
Not always realistic, but half the time if you focus your energy into that type of vibe, I'm not surprised that you're growing at the rate that you are. So it's not a
Thank
coincidence.
you.
And as you said, like you always try to talk to people and be present. What are some of the challenges that you face in moments like that? Because it's not easy. Because you're one body. It's not like you have a twin.
It's hard. It is so
I
hard.
I thought so. I thought so. I didn't think you got a twin. So how do you make sure you're present and giving like not 100%, but nearly 100% to like the partners, the guests, and some of the random things that pop up during that event? How do you
Mhm.
balance that noise?
I think just starting off my day right, whether that's the right energy, gratitude, prayers, everything,
Mm,
and making sure that I have the right people around me. So I'm so grateful for my mom, my sister, my close friends who either help me on the day of with like the event coordination, but they know at the end of the day, like I need to and I want to connect with every single person that comes into this room. And that's the most important thing to me because there are so many people that come alone and they're also very introverted. People are like, how do you make sure that they connect with each other? And I am that person that might be able to start that. So I know there's this thing that they're like, "Oh, like, that girl doesn't wanna talk to me," or like that, "Wow, she looks so good." Like, I'm too intimidated to talk to her. I'll start that conversation for them. Like, they might be a little bit shy or comfortable or awkward, wherever it might be, but I'm like, as long as I start the conversation and build it up, like, it's gonna blossom, it's gonna bloom somewhere. Like, people can feel the energy in the room. So, conversation and connection at my events is most important for me, and then my friends and family and everyone can kinda handle the rest. Yeah.
right. I love that. Do you have any follow-up stories where you connected to people who ended up working together or they ended up connecting like at a friendship level that went just beyond the event.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about me. Jade, DJJ actually came up to one of my events.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing friendship with that, like, again, beyond events and things with her own stuff, but and then I also she was able to be a female live DJ at one of my events. I was like, "Yeah, I wanna put her on too." I was like, "This is really important to me," and I know what
Right.
passionate or even another woman who randomly messaged me saying like, "Hey, like, I have this dream and passion to, like, of art therapy." Art therapy is everything to me. I think fine motor skills, moving your body, being able to disconnect and do what you gotta do is amazing and good for you. So, we executed that vision together. I did host a theme
Lovely.
night, that was amazing, she's like, "Yeah, I've never done it before, I feel really nervous," and I'm like, "Girl, I got you." And so, that was such an amazing event, good vibes, good people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to Jade. Shout out to Jade. That's how we connected. Like that's
yeah,
how we connected. Like
exactly.
I mean, I shot you a DM like way back.
Yeah,
I was telling her this the other day we grabbed dinner and I was like, "Oh, I'm having a pod with Cassie." And she's like, "That's my people's." And
yeah,
I was like, "Do you actually know that I had sent her a DM like months before?" And it was just there. And I was like, "Dang." And
yeah,
then like when I put your episode and then we kind of like connected and I was like, I go to text and I'm like, wait, she looks familiar. Like, hold
yeah,
up. Like, I'm not crazy because I really have like I remember a lot of people the things I do. So I'm looking at my DMs. I'm like, I knew this girl. I knew I'd
yeah,
try to hit up. Cause sometimes I'll just go on the bar and like search Vancouver wellness and then your profile is like it's popping. Shout out it's popping. So
thank
I was
you.
like, I'm just glad the alignment came at the right time. Yeah. And in the space of content in itself as a wellness, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that, people have about wellness influences? You've been in this space for like a year now or maybe more. What are some of the misconceptions that you've faced or have observed as a curator for this space?
Well, that's a good one, a misconception that, like, maybe I think sometimes wellness can be very glamorized and that it's very
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
expensive or, like, that you have to do certain aesthetic-y things, and I'm like, "No," like, wellness is a whole journey where it can look messy, it can look horrible, it can be very depressing. The whole journey is also getting out of that or, like, what's going to help you in a healthy way, and, like, also, like, healthy habits. I think some people think they have to maintain a certain lifestyle when it comes to wellness, or again, like going back to the expensive piece. Some parts of wellness, yes, can be expensive, but I think going back to my early days of Simply Her Wellness, I actually started sharing a lot of free and affordable low cost counseling, free and affordable massage therapy for students, searching classes or events that were free and accessible. Cause yeah, wellness shouldn't be something that's expensive or it doesn't always have to be something aesthetic, but you got to start somewhere, right? And so even if people don't have all the resources, I hope I can be part of that and share what's out there and what I know.
I really appreciate that initiative, even from as you said, from the early days of just taking that initiative to share these resources that a lot of people, we have work, we have life, we have things. So a
Yeah.
lot of people don't have the energy to put their wellness at the forefront when it comes to doing things for themselves. When you think about wellness, what does wellness mean to you? Because like you've described it as not, it shouldn't be something that is expensive, and I agree. But like, what does wellness mean to you in terms of a concept?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that because I also don't want the misconception that wellness is just fitness. I think too many people associate just that. I view wellness very holistically. So, spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, everything.
Right.
And so that's why, yeah, I look into just different sections of my life and how I want to feel better. Some people, some self care might be also like looking, I do believe in look good and feel good, really investing time, energy, resources into yourself so that you're the best version of yourself. I think wellness, yeah, there's so many parts to it. It can include self improvement, self development, all of that. But yeah, just all those different areas.
Just to piggyback off that, I met somebody who really would encourage me to do wellness check-ins. And when I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And she classified wellness in different dimensions. So there was physical wellness, emotional wellness, financial wellness, psychological wellness,
Yep.
religious wellness. Like she went into like a different, almost 14. I just can't remember the rest, but
Mhm.
I remember she did like a whole TV presentation, and I was like, "Damn, all right, like this is crazy." But
Yeah.
I appreciate that because it actually broadened my perspective on what wellness encompasses. Because as you said, there's this notion that we just focus on like the physical, and then even mental wellness is not sometimes it's not talked about enough. So I totally agree with you when you view it as a holistic thing rather than just a piece of the pie of, oh, let's go to the gym and that's wellness, or let's hit yoga and that's wellness. Let's talk about what wellness looks like on days that you don't feel well. So let's say you're having a bad day. What's your toolkit?
I like that question. I think I'm lucky that my
You like
dog
a lot of my questions. I'm so
do.
proud.
Really do. Yeah. I think I'm really lucky that my dog is therapy. So he forces me to always move my body and get outside, but I need to. I need to be out of the house, out of my head.
Mm.
Being in nature, again, that environment thing is everything to me. I think being around water is very grounding to me, and to be out of the city, out of the busy, and just really disconnect. And at the same time, I'm moving my body. There are some moments where I even have counseling like on the phone while I'm walking, moving my body, which I love. A lot of like deep self-reflection. Like again, even if I don't want to, I still do it. And I think I get the most inspiration, or I feel better having that crisp old air, cold air, and like walking around with my dog. I think movement for me really helps, even if that's just a simple walk. I list my affirmations. I talk to myself. I envision. I dream. Yeah, I think those are kind of the ways that I try to get myself out of my head.
Movement makes a lot of sense because from a therapeutical standpoint, somatic release is one of those ways that you actually release trauma from your body. So if you pay attention, the reason why you have those breakthroughs after going for that walk is because your nervous system has become regulated. So the tension that you were holding, you release it with movement because that energy is usually stagnant for the most part. So once you release it, now your body feels safe to release the emotions or the ideas or whatever it is that happens to you. And
Uh-huh.
that's something I recently just learned because I've been doing some really deep work on
For real.
releasing trauma,
Yeah.
and it's been a blessing. Typically by December, that seasonal depression be say, "What's up, Greg? I'm
Yeah.
back." But
Yeah.
this time I said, "Hell nah. You gonna see me 30 minutes a day outside.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, you're not catch me outside. I'm outside."
Yeah. Yeah. No, good for you.
So
Yeah, bilateral, the stimulation, everything, it's all good for you, and there's so many studies about the brain and research and everything.
yeah, I think as we talk about being minorities in this part of the world, you spotlight a lot on like helping the BIPOC, LGBTQ, and just small Canadian brands. Why do you think representation is inseparable from wellness for you? Why do you think that matters a lot in wellness?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really see that here. And the response that I've gotten from so many people is like, that's actually why I attended your events. I see and feel representation, not just in your guests, but in the partners and people and brands that you choose and what you want to highlight. Beyond that, they can see and feel that in my content. There are a lot of people that I've said no to or certain opportunities because it didn't align with me. And I wanted to get to know the people, the story, behind that business, behind that person, and things like that. I think it's important for people to be seen. I think there's so many people that they deserve a spotlight. I'm like, no, this is for you. I was like, I'm gonna put you on. Let me share to another person about your business and your idea. And there's just amazing people that are doing great work that don't have enough recognition and acknowledgement.
I take that as life advice for myself because as I build in a space that also requires a lot of alignment, I think the one thing that I've struggled with in life from a personal standpoint is saying no. So when you come from a people pleasing dynamic with yourself, it becomes very hard to say no. And especially when you come from survival mode and scarcity mindset, it really, you can really say yes to opportunities that don't align with you just out of sheer scarcity. I don't believe I can get any better. And you quote unquote settle. So I think it's very important to gain clarity because that clarity is what gives you choice. So once you're secure within yourself with who you are, the version that you stand for, then it gives you clarity to say, nah, actually, this doesn't work for me. And you're
Hmm.
at peace with it because you understand that there's something else that works for you. So I could definitely say that's something I'm working on actively, and I'm taking that as a life lesson because I think it's very important for people to understand that on your journey to greatness, there's also going to be moments that you have to say no. It just can't be yes, 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 because not all yeses are good yeses.
I agree.
So
Yeah. And you gotta remember too that like not there's gonna be things that when it's meant for you, it's not gonna miss you, right? So I think reason.
what's meant for you won't dismiss you.
Mhm.
Mm, I like that one. So you said like you wanted to showcase different brands and different people, different communities. What does feeling seen actually mean in your space? Like what does it mean to feel seen in within your community?
I wanna feel safe. I wanna feel welcome. And so when I was in those positions where I am the only person of color in the room, I kind of feel uncomfortable. Or even if there's nice to me, there's just some certain unspoken body language or communication. I'm like, yeah, like I want to be a part of community. I want to be here. I want to have a voice too. I want people's stories to be heard. I don't want them to feel like they can't talk or they can't say anything. Yeah, so I want to create those safe spaces for women to come together and connect with other people. Kind of what you were saying too, of going back to traveling. Like you get to meet other people, other cultures, and so I want to bring that all together in a room.
Hmm. Are you sure you haven't done a podcast before?
No, but I want to. I want to do more. I'm nervous, and people pitch this to me. I'm like, oh. So when you were the first one that actually did it, I was so excited. I was really nervous.
Because you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
I cannot tell that you haven't done this before because the way you're
Really?
recollecting information is impressive.
Oh,
Because
thank you.
yes, it's very impressive. I just wanted to make sure I shared that with you so that moving forward, when you get other opportunities to do podcasts, don't say no because you're good.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I
Yeah,
needed to hear that.
I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. I just want you to feel seen.
Thank you.
So in my space, this is how I make people feel seen. I
Yeah.
allow them to share the story. I allow them to be comfortable, be open, and just let those nerves go away. We're just chit
Yeah.
chatting. It's just a little
Yeah.
chit chat.
Yeah, well, it's
So
honestly because of your good energy that I easily said yes, and I knew that I'd be so comfortable talking to you too, so you make things so much easier too on top of that. Great
I
host, great
appreciate.
questions. I was like, "No, I already know this guy's gonna come up with, like, good questions that, like, it's just gonna be flowing." You're right. Like, everything's coming from the heart, like, I can just feel it, and it's, like, stuff we're interested in. No, you're a very good energy and easy to talk to,
Thank
so
you. Thank
yeah.
you. Giving ourselves flowers. I love that. And I always like to kind of play devil's advocate because I'm a Gemini. Have you ever felt like you don't belong in the wellness world? Like, have you ever felt like this is not something that you were meant to do?
No, like, I have my days and my moments where I'm like I get embarrassed or shy. I think it's around
Double click on that. Why
okay.
do you feel the embarrassment and the shyness? Where does that stem from?
I think being around people that are also not used to a lot of opportunities and things being presented to them. I think
Hmm.
even now, like when people go, "Are you on TikTok? Are you simply her wellness?" I kind of trip out, like, "Are you talking to me?" Like I'm grateful, but I'm like, I don't know what to do with this information.
I
Yeah, I don't know.
mean, yeah, that's a funny one. That's a funny one. When they start calling you by your brand name and not your real name.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm just like, "Oh."
But I still
But
have a
it's
name,
funny,
guys.
like, but between me and you though, like I at work I go for Cassandra. And then I have a different identity in life outside of work, and I love that, right? Like, I don't wake up to work, like, I work so that I can live life. And so all my close friends and people, my brand, everything, it's Cassie, like, you're getting to know me for who I am, right?
I love that. I can't say enough about how that for me it matters a lot, especially in the people that I bring close to my life, in the sense
Mhm.
that you need to have your own values, your own way of thinking, your own like bro, you need to be a human being. Plain and simple.
Identity.
Like what do you like your work is your work. And
Yep.
no one is saying you should not love what you do. Some people find
Mhm.
a lot of joy and meaning in what they do. I
Yeah.
respect that. Don't bring that shit to my space when when you're not in that space. Like I don't. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is when I meet someone and they ask me, "What do you do?"
Yes! Like, why is that your
What
first
the fuck do
question?
you? Sorry,
What is that?
what the hell do you mean? Like,
Yes.
what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out of my face.
Yeah.
Out of everything that you saw from first impression, the first thing you thought of was, "What do you do?"
Exactly.
Come on, gang. Like, we could do better than that. You like out of everything, what will you do? What if I meet you at an event? Like, oh, what brought you to this event?
Exactly!
There's so many different avenues I could get into your world, but before I even say, what do you do? Because for me, sometimes, and I'm gonna be very upfront between me and
Mhm.
you,
Yeah.
there was moments where that question used to trigger me because I felt like
Yeah, I get you.
I
Yes.
wasn't doing enough with my life.
Yeah.
So there was a point in time where as I was seeking alignment, as I was seeking clarity,
Mhm.
funny, last night I had a very emotional night because I was literally soaking in gratitude in the sense of like I actually get to do something that I love. Like I don't think anyone understands what it took to get to this point because I tried everything under the cloud. Anything you can think of, I tried. You name it. They said what they call them people who used to do trading, we did that.
Mhm.
So it's like that question, to go back to the question, that question used to trigger me because I always felt at like not at ease with myself. Now I don't think it would trigger me as much because I know how to navigate certain
Yep.
situations. Do
Growth.
think
Growth, baby.
growth. Yeah, thanks to growth. But I definitely feel like at the time it used to irk me a lot because I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I have life beyond work, right? As, like, I live this such filled life that, like, I'm so passionate talking about too, right? Or, like, "Damn, like, get to
mhm.
know me on a deeper level." I really like to get to know people.
I'm actually curious to pick your brain because
Please.
this has come up in like a part of my healing journey where there can be a way to get to know someone without going into a trauma dump. Because I
Mm,
think a lot of people have this misconception that if you're not talking about your past experiences and your past traumas, then it's not a deep connection. How do you go about conversations that can feel deep but not necessarily cross into that path where you're trauma dumping and connecting with someone on that type of level?
I actually view things that's what sparks your passion? What are you passionate about? I think I bring it to that because people's passions under that is probably, like, a bit of, like, childhood trauma, things that they're
Mm,
working on, but it turns into something more powerful, more meaningful if
I
you
see.
remember that way. It sparks that interest and it's like, "Damn, like, you're actually getting to know me and who I wanna be." Like, even if I'm not where I wanna be at today,
Hmm.
this who I'm becoming and I'm sharing that with you, and this is, like, intimate, meaningful information that, like, I'm happy to share with you. And
Right.
then kinda leads to the other things of how they got there as well, but it wouldn't be too much trauma dumping, if that makes sense. I think it's the perspective of, like, growth, I guess.
And I love that. I love that. And also it shifts the focus from the how to the why.
Mhm.
So it becomes more the passion comes out as to why they do what they do conversation. So
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. People knowing your name and your
Mhm.
brand, and that brings credibility. I feel like sometimes you can also have credibility without ego. When you saw your name listed as one of Vancouver's top 20 wellness influencers,
Mhm.
what does that moment mean to you?
No one's asked me that. I was actually just Googling I hosted, an event called Rewire Your Mindset for the multi-passionate, the curious, and the creatives, and so I was looking for people to speak on my panel, and I just saw my name on that list. I was like, "Look," I stared at it for the longest time, and I didn't know what to think. My mind was actually empty when I was looking at it, and then I just moved on. Like, I didn't tell anyone until, like, later because I was like I'm like and then I caught myself. I'm like, "Hey, you're doing that thing again," where you're
Mm,
only thinking about things that you need to improve on, and you're not, you know being aware and acknowledging, like, what you have done. I think that was a key
Mhm.
moment for me that I'm like, "Damn, like, I just gotta keep going." Like, every time I'm confused or sad or whatever, like, I just gotta keep going, and I gotta do it with urgency. Like, I cannot keep delaying things, like, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till, like, this moment," or, "This is a better timing for it." Like, no, like, you just gotta keep going, you gotta keep showing up. I gotta keep creating space and taking up space.
How
I
do you
think
balance how do you balance, speed and alignment?
I think I've let go of how and, like, when, like, this time that it's going to happen. I just believe that it's gonna happen. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I just believe
I
it's gonna
see.
happen. I just need to keep taking the steps, and it will unfold, and it will be God, universe timing of when that does happen, but it'll make sense.
So in essence, when you're talking about speed, that's more about the steps. So those are the steps that you're taking, but the steps are geared towards a certain alignment of whenever this happens, it'll happen.
Mhm. As long
And being in the content space, what responsibility comes with visibility?
well, I can't be mysterious or private too much.
Nonchalant.
Right, I can't, that's what I realize, especially, yeah, when people kind of are going up to me and I'm like, right, like, I am out there, but a lot of some of my content also involves a lot of, like, storytelling. I'm very open about a lot of things and things that I go through and how I'm feeling. I think, again, if I make space showing how I am authentically, then other women can come together too. Other people, not just women, can feel like they can share their own things and that it's okay. They're not alone in it. They're not isolated in it. They don't have to go through things alone, and that there is community, there is space for them somewhere where they feel safe.
I love that. But you got to take care of yourself though.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, like the content creation space, I think has a lot of burnout that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
What part of content creation drains you the most?
The part of content that drains me the most, I think as long as it aligns with me and I'm passionate about it, it's so easy for me to share stories. It's so easy for me to talk about or to develop or create something. I love the creativity and freedom aspect of it. Like, again, it started as a creative outlet, but the things that I might struggle with is I think I used to be scared of what people thought about now I'm way past that. Now I'm like, I don't really care, like, if this aligns with you, it does. If it doesn't, great, like, move on. And yeah, like, perfect content. I never ever cared about, like, attention or views and things like that. I just want people to feel something. I want people to connect with my content. I think that was always the goal.
Did you ever have a mental block at the beginning of filming yourself and talking in front of audiences? Did you ever have that fear?
Yeah, like, I definitely had to practice talking in front of a camera and people, I guess. But yeah, I was very inspired by other people sharing their own stories, and I'm like, "Damn, like, I really like how they can do that." Like, I think I could be a voice for some other people too. I hope anyways.
Right. I mean, you are, so you're doing it. So that's
Yeah.
it worked out.
Yeah.
Let it all work out, and it did. And how does a lot of I've seen some of your videos, and there's a lot of like fitness embodiment in some of them.
Mhm.
What do you think? How does taking care of your body influence your creativity and overall leadership in terms of being a leader in the wellness community?
Honestly, for me, like, I know you talked about performance and stuff earlier. A lot of people view movement, fitness into that. I don't really deal with the numbers and things like that. I'm definitely not consistent. That's I put it out there. Like, I'm not a fitness influencer, you guys. Like, yes, I work out, I try different things, but I listen to my body and what it needs. And so there's moments where I'm like, I can't do a workout, but I'll definitely do a walk today. So I think it's made me more attuned to my body. And then when I'm mentally feeling good, then I'm able to create and develop better content, better ideas, including for events, content, whatever that might be. I feel like I'm able to reset whenever I incorporate movement into my day to day. And whatever that might be. It might be yoga one day, it might be boxing, it might be like you don't have to be sweating to do wellness or a good workout. You do whatever feels good for your body. For the longest time, there were moments where like I couldn't really get out of bed. I really couldn't drive and get myself to the gym. So I get it.
I love that, man. Like, fitness is little by little becomes a lot because there's seasons of your life. There's
Yeah.
probably gonna come a season where you can't necessarily go to the gym every day. That's okay. As long as you did that walk, as long as you did those 10 push-ups, like it little by little, just get into that consistent habit rather
Yeah.
than looking for a perfect outlook. Fitness influencers are paid to do that. Bro,
Yeah.
I'm not paid to do that. Like,
Yeah.
let's be for real. I
Exactly.
only do this because I love for the game. But other than
Yeah.
that, bro, like they get paid. If you paid me, then I'll do it every day. But
Exactly. Yeah.
so let's be for real.
But some advice on that too. Like when I was documenting my wellness journey, sometimes people don't know where to start or what to do, or sometimes they get bored, or they kind of what you're saying, they also get stuck and they kind of hit like a block. I'm like, okay, then start diving into things. I like to like, what is your form of play? Like, go try different classes. Like, and I like maybe
Oh,
try boxing, try Pilates, try yoga, try bar, try stuff you never like. There's so much stuff on my list. I still want to do I don't know, Muay Thai or something. You know what I mean? Like, bored, but I still want to move my body. Like it's all about,
I could connect
you
you
know,
to somebody. Yeah, yeah, from Muay Thai. Yeah, but I hear you. I hear you, and I agree with you. Quick question: when's the last time that you played outside hosting an event? Like, when was the last time that you took time out of your day to go play?
someone asked me this yesterday. Damn, like it's
They beat me to it.
and they're like, what is your form of play and how do you reconnect to that? I was like, damn, I think it goes back to my roots again. Like I for the longest time stopped singing. And so I'm going back to that again a little bit. Getting myself out there. Yeah, just letting loose. I think, like, you're right, like, there's so much trauma stored in the body and, like, I can feel it. I can feel if my energy's off if I haven't been moving. So, yeah, that's just how I play around in my play, just go back to my roots and my interests. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you end up going to the karaoke event?
I did, and it was so much fun, it was so good. Community there is amazing.
I'm mad at you because I told you to tell me and you didn't tell me.
Did I forget to message you? Damn, I should have. That's my bad. That's
Now I'm
my
looking at you sideways, but
Are
it's
you
okay.
random? Are you going to, Girls View Door? Because 'Cause I'm going to that. Their event?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
going?
Yeah.
I'll see you. I introduced
Yeah.
you to my people. Oh, I'm so excited you're going.
Okay. Yeah,
That
I'll
one's gonna
see
be
you
fun.
there.
So excited
Yeah.
for that one. I'm so excited for
Yeah,
Jaden.
I'm excited to go show some love. So you got me. Good comeback.
Yes, I'll see you
But
there.
I'll see you soon. So when you think about the vision forward, no, before we go to the vision, I think you've done so many events, you've done so many different experiences, you've curated a
Mhm.
lot of spaces for women and other people to feel safe. Do you have a moment from one of the events that reminded you why you do what you do?
Yeah, I think that was at my event. Yeah, the Rewire Mindset event where I had the panel of speakers. I got a flood of DMs, but also in-person conversations that they needed a space like this and they needed people to talk to. It was their emotions that brought up in certain stories. So I think hearing them feel whether they were like inspired or motivated or they finally could take a deep breath, they have so much relief coming here, again, sparking interest in something. Like them just saying, like, I needed this. I needed community. I needed these girls. I needed to talk to this person. I'm so glad I was able to get, I don't know, a mindset coach out of this. Was able to connect with a counselor from this. I think that was the moment where I'm like, okay, I'm so glad this became more than just an event, but an experience and a resource. I think people learned a lot from that. And again, making it very accessible. Their search and workshops and things are expensive, right? So
Mhm.
yeah.
I love that. I love that. It all came as it was as a result of you putting yourself out there, executing a vision, and sticking to your word through it. So I truly love that. And going forward, because I know you think you talk about the future sometimes, and I want to ask about the vision for Simply Her. If you could redefine wellness in Vancouver or the world, how would that look like?
You got me there. I don't know if I thought about Simply Her Wellness on a bigger scale. I don't
Mm.
know if that's also me, like, just doubting myself, right? At the same time.
Let's shed some light on that. Let's see what's going on. This is my favorite part. If I was to give you a blank whiteboard and you were to close your eyes and visualize what does Simply Her Wellness look like at the apex of what you envision it? How would you answer that question?
I mean, it would be amazing to be global. I don't know, it's such a I say this
Speak up,
now.
speak up. I need you to own it. I need you to own it.
Yeah, I need to not have such a scarcity mindset on that, but, I would love to expand it beyond just events, but again, it's right now it's been a platform. It's not just events, it's also about content creation and that I wanna connect with people beyond Vancouver and Canada too. There are so many people out there who also have a platform who continue to inspire me, and maybe not just events, but I don't know if I would wanna touch into wellness retreats. I need to attend some, that's still on my list. But yeah, like, I think I envision something bigger for Simply Her Wellness, but it's growing. It's growing behind the scenes what exactly I want to turn this into.
All right. I pray that you continue to figure it out. I pray that you continue to impact lives beyond the community that you've surrounded yourself with, because the more people come in contact with your work, the more change and impact you can have on the world. So I think
I hope.
just don't limit yourself. Be limitless. That's what we do over
Yeah,
here.
love that. No, you're such a great space for amazing people. Like, we need to hear these type of stories and, like, your word. Yeah, you touch a lot of people's hearts, so appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. When it's all said and done, like what do you want the community to always remember about you?
I want them to know that I'm here and that I'm listening to them. I am present and that I hope I'm a reminder for people to take care of themselves and that, yeah, they're deserving and worthy to take care of themselves and have a better versions of themselves, whether that's not just alone, but also in community.
What's your specific message to a woman who's improving her life quietly? Because there's a lot of them out there.
Mhm.
What's your specific message to that woman who's improving her life quietly that doesn't have the courage yet to come out and do it in community? What would you tell her?
There's this stat, I don't know what it is, or this research or statistics or whatever, of like loneliness. It correlates to depression and mental health and things like that. We actually do seek community, like biologically or something like that. I don't know. I think my advice for those people is that you can still heal and improve on your own and in therapy and with God and things like that. But there's going to be a point in time where you're going to need a support, a listening ear, and again, growth is beyond your circle and your world. You gotta step outside that to really know that bigger and better version of you, and it just takes that one connection, that can lead you to where you're meant to be or what you wanna be doing. Some people are very close to keep their goals to themselves, and I respectfully understand why,
Hmm.
but at the same time, you never know what's out there and what one opportunity, one environment, one connection can take you.
Well said. Well said. I'll add on to yes, you can do again to touch on an earlier point, you can do the healing personally, but there's gonna come a point where you're gonna have to build a bridge between your personal healing and your community existence. And that bridge is called integration. That's the bridge that helps you cross from doing the work by yourself, because it's easy to say, I'm healed, I've done the work, I've taken time to myself. But when you're exposed to situations that triggered you 2 years ago or 6 months
Mhm.
ago, what's your response like? Because that's the true test. The test is not how many books did you read, how many
Exactly.
journal pages did you write. Those are tools just to put you in that zone. But the real test comes when you're in a relationship and somebody disrespects you. How
Yeah.
are you enforcing your boundaries?
Mhm.
That's the test, and
Absolutely.
that's the integration part.
Yeah.
So very
Yes.
necessary to build a strong bridge so that when you cross over the integration part, your community becomes a selling point for your healing. I
Yeah.
completely agree with you. You've accomplished a lot. You've done a lot of work. There's still room to grow. When you look at your journey, it all boils down to what? Well, how can you encompass your journey to this point? One word, and then why you chose that word.
I think it would be connection. I'm choosing that word because I think I needed to connect with myself first, but then connecting with other people. And when I say connection, that can mean various things through meaningful conversation, through movement, through self discovery. Yeah, connection is everything. You don't know who you are unless you understand where you're coming from. What is that rooted in, right?
You know the reason I gasped when you said connection because I've always argued that human beings are wired for connection. And you cannot tell me otherwise. That's my lived experience. I believe
Mhm.
that. I firmly affirm that without connection, it's even hard to survive. So
Yes.
I never want to live out of survival. I always want to live through connection. And for
Yeah,
me,
essential.
anytime anybody asks me that, I always go to connection. That's always my words. Shout out your page, shout out where people can find your work.
You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Simply Her Wellness. Yeah, that's all.
Simply
But
her
thank
wellness.
you so much for this opportunity and this space and what you do. We need more people like you in the community. Yeah, I've watched your other work and your videos, and it's amazing and what people have to share, but also your insight. I know you say that like you like this podcast, but like you as a host and your input, I'm very much comfortable talking to you. So I'm so
I
glad you're the
appreciate
first
that.
podcast I've ever been on, and I'm so grateful.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I every time somebody asks you, what was your first podcast?
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much, Cassie, and hope to talk to you soon.